option theory, the application of option theory to investment appraisal. If you're able to round up in the next 1.5 hours, we should take the last topic. All the material shared like 10 minutes ago with the group, foreign currency. Now, a quick recap of our last class. We look at the application of option theory to investment appraisal. That is, investment appraisal techniques. There are different techniques that can be used to evaluate investment projects. We have the traditional method. You can use the payback period to appraise the financial viability of a capital project. You can use the net present value method to appraise the viability of a project. You can use the internal rate of return or the modified internal rate of return. Usually, the net present value is regarded as the superior investment appraisal technique. This method is used to evaluate the financial viability of a capital project. Now, we want to adopt the application of option theory to investment analysis. We started this last week, how to apply option theory to the valuation of investment projects. We explained that there are different areas of application. One of them we mentioned last time was option to abandon. We explained option to abandon that if a company enters into a capital project, the objective is to see the project to its logical conclusion. But where project expectations are not met, the company may decide to delay the project, to abandon the project. That it is not compulsory that if a company undertakes capital projects, it is not mandatory to take the project to completion. You can start a project in year 0. After some years, you can decide to dispose the project and abandon such project. Particularly if taking the project to the final year is not profitable, we might decide to abandon this project. We looked at this last week. We treated a question on option to abandon. Please remember, option to abandon is treated as a put option. We explained the steps involved on how to treat option to abandon. Tonight, we shall be looking at, or we shall be starting with option to delay. The second areas of application is option to delay a project. How does this work? If you look at the conventional net present value, It assumes that a project will commence in year 0 and end at a particular year. It assumes that a project must commence immediately. The conventional net present value does not provide rooms for financial flexibility. This is what option theory tries to value: financial flexibility. Now, option to delay. When a company has exclusive rights to a project or to a product for a specified period, when a company has exclusive rights to a project or to a product for a specified period, the company can decide to delay the project to a later period, particularly if the project involves a great degree of uncertainty. Management can decide to delay the project for some years with a view to reducing the level of uncertainty and improve the project's profitability. We take that again. Where a capital project involves a greater degree of uncertainty, management can decide to delay the project for some years with a view to reducing the level of uncertainty and improve the project profitability. This will be possible if the company has exclusive rights to that project. With exclusive rights, no other companies can undertake the project within the specified period. This is the concept of option to delay. And option to delay is treated as a call option. It is not mandatory to commence the project in year 0. We can delay the project for some years with a view to reducing our risk and improving the project's profitability. This is the principle of option to delay. An option to delay is treated as a call option. Now, what are the steps involved when dealing with option to delay? What are the steps involved when you are dealing with option to delay? Let's move to the whiteboard. Steps involved when dealing with option to delay. Steps involved when dealing with option to delay. Step 1. Calculate the NPV. Calculate the NPV without option to delay. This is your step 1. Step 2. Calculate value of call option. In this case, the five input variables approaches as follows. XO, underlying assets. No, let's take it. The XO is equal to present value of future cash flows. Present value of future cash flows. E is equal to initial investment outlay. T number of years the project can be delayed. The project can be delayed. How? This is the risk-free. Risk-free rates as given. This is the volatility. In brackets, standard deviation. Also as given. Examiner will give you the risk-free rates. Examiner will give you the standard deviation. You can now use the 5 input variables to calculate the value of the call option. Then step number 3. Step 3. Calculate MPV with option to delay. MPV with option to delay is equal to value of call option plus MPV without option to delay. These are the 3 steps involved. We are dealing with question on option to delay. These are the 3 steps involved. We can practicalize this with the next question. For those in class last week, we treated option to abandon. Let us look at question 2. Question number 2, I can texted. That should be November 2022. I'll read. Tayo Kayode in brackets TK is a highly successful beverage company listed on the Nigerian stock market. Its products are particularly attractive to the young generation. A collaboratory has developed an innovative synthetic alcoholic beverage, the Yonki, It is believed that the product, if manufactured commercially, will be popular among the youths. Tayo Kayode has been offered a license to produce Yonki on the condition that it commences production within the next 12 months. That means it is not a must to commence production now. You can commence, you have a license to commence production within 12 months. That is 1 year. You can delay the project for 1 year. In the last board meeting, the marketing director presented the following preliminary evaluation of the project. When the project was evaluated, look at it, the net present value is negative. Present value of future cash flow, 4.5. Next. Kehinde, the marketing director, recommended that the project should be rejected. Next paragraph. The finance director, Ben Okon, argued that the conventional net present value undervalues projects with high uncertainty, as the value of the embedded re-option is often ignored. He suggested that the possibility of delaying the project for up to 12 months effectively gives TK a call option on development. And if the market forecast improve over the next year, the company can benefit. To get the right answer, he concluded that option value should be incorporated. The current long-term government bond yield is 5%. The expected standard deviation of future cash flows is estimated at 35%. Requirements. A. Comment on the views of marketing and finance directors. Look at requirements A. Let us deal with requirement A first. The marketing director's view is that the project should be rejected. The marketing director recommended that this project should be rejected because the project has a negative net present value. Now the question to the class is, Is the marketing director wrong to recommend that this project should be rejected?
She's not wrong.
The marketing director is not wrong. So if we are to comment on the marketing director's view, we are going to start by saying the marketing director is very correct. The project should be rejected. A project with negative net present value should be rejected because the negative net present value will reduce the wealth of the shareholders. Hence, such project should not be accepted. Hence, ordinarily, such project should not be accepted. We have commented on the view of marketing director. Now look at the view of the finance director. The finance director argues that conventional net present value undervalues project with high uncertainty, as the value of the embedded real option is often ignored. He suggested that the project should be delayed for like 12 months. And we should incorporate option value. Now the question again is the finance director wrong giving his view?
The finance director is not wrong.
It's also not wrong. The finance director is also not wrong. Conventional net present value undervalues projects with high uncertainty. Hence, the project should not be rejected. Rather, the company should revalue the project by incorporating option value. The option value is that the project can be delayed for 1 year. If you commence the project in year 0, we are going to have negative NPV of 250 million. But we have an option to delay the project for 1 year and commence after 1 year. We can now take options available to us to delay the project. So the marketing director is also not wrong. Sorry, the finance director is not wrong. Look at the comment, please. Look at the comments. The marketing director is correct in our interpretation of calculated NPV. The NPV can normally be interpreted as showing the impact of a project on shareholders' wealth. So a negative NPV will indicate that the investment will erode shareholders' value and should be rejected. The next paragraph. The finance director is correct to point out a limitation or weakness of the conventional net present value analysis. High uncertainty is usually reflected in higher discount rates and hence lower NPV. However, greater uncertainty will usually result in higher option value. So the finance director is correct to suggest that option value must be incorporated and that TK has an option to delay the investment, giving it a call option. However, the finance director is wrong to suggest that ignoring option is the only weakness of NPV. A more complete analysis would also try to incorporate what we are trying to say here is that when evaluating capital projects, we don't consider only the financial viability. We also look at non-financial factors. We also try to look at the non-financial factors that can affect our project success. If you look at the question, the company needs to consider the implication on its image, where an alcoholic beverage drink is being produced targeting the younger generation. The company also need to look at the non-financial factors. A company is trying to develop a new product, an alcoholic beverage drink. And this beverage drink, the target market is the young generation. That will have impact on the company's image. You are producing alcohol and you are targeting the youth. How will the society perceive your company? You can produce your alcohol, but don't direct it towards the youth. All right, that is the appropriate response to the A part of this question. The B part. Using the Black-Scholes option pricing model for a European call option, estimate the value of the option to commercially develop and market the Yankee. Provide a recommendation as to whether or not TK should manufacture the Yankee. Now, from what we have read, the company has a choice to delay the project for 1 year. So this question is on option to delay. Now, if you are dealing with option to delay, you have 3 steps. We can now proceed to solve this requirement 2. Excuse me, please. Let's go to this solution. We are dealing with question on Tayo Kayode in brackets TK. The B part of the question. First is MPV without option to delay. MPV without option to delay. If you look at the question, examiner has done that for us. MPV of the project, negative 250,000. We just pick that. This is equal to 250,000 negative. Then step 2. This is my step 1. Step 2, value of call option. Now state the formula for call option. Call option is equal to C is equal to, open a bracket, XO multiplied by N bracket D1 minus, open another bracket, E exponential raised to power negative RT multiplied by ND2. Somebody is touching the screen. When you touch the screen, you put mark on the screen. Our XO, look at it here, we define it not too long. Step 2, calculate value of put. In this case, 5 input variables are processed as follows. Present value of future cash flows. Please go and look at the question. What is the present value of future cash flow? 4,000. We can write it. Present value of PV of future cash flow. If you look at the question, this is equal to 4,500. Next E, initial investment outlay. What is the initial investment outlay? Are we giving in the question?
No.
We are not giving in the question expressly, but we can derive it. We are not giving this expressly in the question. But remember that NPV is equal to the differences between present value of future cash flow
And the initial capital outlay.
Thank you. So examiner was just trying to play smart. Present value is equal to, NPV is equal to the present value of future cash flow. Where's my minus initial capital outlay. Initial outlay because of space. Our NPV is giving us negative 250 is equal to present value of future cash flow is giving us 4,500 minus initial outlay. Can we compute initial outlay now? I'm sure we can compute initial outlay now. We just simply take 4,500. This will give me 250 minus 4,500 is equal to negative initial outlay. This becomes negative 4,750 is equal to negative initial outlay. Negative, we strike out negative. That means our initial outlay for this project is equal to 4,750. Oh, you can't hear me?
I can hear you clearly from here.
Ah, somebody said we can't hear you. I'm surprised. No, go and check your device. Please, can you confirm you can hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
All right. Let me tell the guy to check his device. Please. check your device. Others can hear me. Others can hear me. So we have gotten our capital letter E. The initial outlay is equal to $4,750. Our T. How many years can we delay this project? 1 year. Is that not? Our R. What is the risk-free rate? Look at it here, please. The current long-term government bond yield. Government bond. The interest rate on government bond is risk-free. That is 5%. Standard deviation is estimated to be 35%. So I'll come here. The risk-free rate, risk-free rates. That is the rate on government bond is 5%. That is equal to 0.05. Volatility in bracket standard deviation is equal to 35%. 0.35. We have gotten the 5 input variables. We can now calculate our D1. Our D1 is equal to in brackets XO divided by E, close the brackets, plus open another brackets, R plus 0.5 volatility square multiply, close the bracket, multiply by T, everything divided by volatility square root of T. You can now say your D1 is equal to in bracket, our XO is 4,500. Our capital letter E, 4,750. Close the bracket, plus open another bracket. Our risk-free rate, 5%, 0.05 plus 0.5 is constant. 0.5 multiplied by our volatility 35%, 0.35 raised to power 2. The time, 1 year, multiplied by 1. Everything over standard deviation, 0.35 multiplied by the square root of 1. Please compute your D1. Please compute your D1.
0.1634.
0.1634,
1634.
correct. As soon as you get your D1, just move to your D2. Our D2 is equal to D1 minus volatility square root of T. Our D2 is equal to 0.1634 minus 0.35 multiplied by the square root of 1. You can place this in brackets. What are D2?
I got negative 0.1866.
Negative 0.18.
66.
Are you doubting what you have gotten? You are correct now. Negative 0.1866. That's our D2. I haven't computed D1 and D2. The next thing to do is to calculate ND1, ND2. I haven't computed your D1 and D2. Next thing to do is determine ND1 and ND2 using normal distribution table. You start with your D1. Our D1 is 0.1634. Once you have this, establish a range. This number lies between 0.16 and 0.17. When you are done, now look for your ND1. ND1 is equal to, look at your D1. You have a positive sign plus 0.1634. Then you are going to start with 0.5 plus. Now open a bracket. Let's check the log. We now check 0.1 under 6. Let's go to the material, normal distribution log. Yeah, this is the log. Look at it, please. Look at my custos. 0.1. I will now trace it to 6. That will give us 0.0636. That will give me 0.0636. So if you check 0.1 under 6, straight to 6. I've checked 0.16. I'm left with 34. I'll pick it plus 0.34. Open another bracket. And I'll go check the upper range. 0.1 traced to 7. 0.0, let's check it. Look at it, please. 0.1. I will now take it to 7. That will give me 0.0657. 0.0657.
75.
That is minus the figure we got at the lower range. 0.0636. This will give you your ND1. You can apply your calculator and get your ND1.
0.5649.
Yeah. 0.5649. We now move to D2. Our D2 figure will derive negative 0.1866. Let us get the range. This will be between 0.18 and 0.19. When I say ND2, now look at here now. The sign we have here is negative, negative 0.1866. So you are going to start with 0.5 minus. Now open a bracket. Go and check the lower range. 0.1 trace to 8. Look at it, please. 0.1. That gives us 0.0714. 0.0714 plus we have checked 0.1 to 8. We are left with 66. That becomes plus somebody's speaker is up. .6. Open another bracket. Now go check 0.1 trace to 9. Look at it. 0.0753. Seven 0.0753 minus the figure we derive at the lower end, 0.0714. What's our ND2?
0.4260.
0.4260. We can now value call. Remember the formula for call option. Okay, now not to waste time, let's move to it. Look at the formula again. Our XO 4,500, E 4,750. I can come here. This is equal to SO 4,500 multiplied by ND1 0.5649 0.5649, close the brackets, minus, open another bracket, exercise price 4750 exponential negative letter R 0.05 multiplied by time 1 year, everything multiplied by D2 0.4260. Please calculate value of the core. What's our
I got
what's our
6.237.
what are you saying, sir?
I said I got 617.237.
Correct. 617.237. That is the value of the call option. Then the last step. The last step is the addition of step 1 and step 2. Step 3, calculate MPV with option to delay. This is equal to value of call option. Value of call option this gave us 617.237 plus MPV without option to delay. This will give us negative 250. Take these two together. What's our final value?
367.237.
3
367.237.
This is the MPV with option to delay. What we are now saying is that if we introduce option valuation and the project is delayed for 1 year, the company can achieve a profit of 367 million 0.237. This is MPV with option to delay for 1 year. So if you value financial flexibility, this project should be accepted. This project should be delayed for 1 year. And the financial flexibility should be valued. Any question, please? That is requirement B. So our comment will be if option valuation or if option value is incorporated into the project analysis, this will improve the project profitability to 367 million. Hence, the company should delay the project. Hence, the company should delay the commencement of the project for 1 year, so as to reduce the level of risk and improve the project profitability. We are done with requirements. Requirement B. Requirement C to round out this question. Requirement C says comment on modeling the possibility of delay as a European call option. What is the examiner trying to text here? What's this question trying to text? First, can we differentiate between American option and European option? If you recall, American options, these are option contracts that can be exercised at any time from the commencement of the contract up to the maturity of the contract. I'll repeat that. American option contracts. These are option contracts that can be exercised at any time from the commencement of the contract up to the maturity. That means if you are talking of American option contract, the company can commence production within 12 months. It is not a must to wait until 1 year. You can go in 1 month's time, commence the production. 2 months' time, 3 months' time. The company can commence production within 1 year. That is American option contract. But if you are talking of European option contracts, it means that these are contracts, these are option contracts that can only be exercised at expiration. That is at the end of 1 year. It must be at expiration or at maturity. So I will explain the differences. If you look at the wording in this question, examiner says let's go back to that question. Look at paragraph 3. TK has been offered a license to produce Yonki on the condition that it commences production within 12 months. If you look at that wording, it looks like American option contracts. Commence production within 12 months. It didn't say after 1 year, within. The license the company has been given is an American option contract, not European option contracts. Now, if you want to go to the comments, look at the comment, please. The Black Scholes model was developed for European options. As production will commence at any time during 1 year period. The option is an American option rather than European option. I'll take that again. The Black Scholes model was developed for European option. As production could commence at any time during 12-month period. The option is an American option rather than European option. It can be argued that where there is no dividend payments and where time value still exists, it is worthwhile holding an American option to expiry. Let me explain that. If there is no dividend payments and time value still exists, the company can wait until after 12 months before exercising its rights. In this case, we are now waiting until maturity. The valuation will now be done as an European call option is valid. What we are saying is, if the company waits for 12 months, that is 1 year, before commencing production, the above valuation we have done will be correct. But if the company should exercise its rights before 12 months, If the company should exercise its right before 12 months, then the valuation we have carried out in part B will not be correct, because black school cannot be used to value American option contracts. If the company exercises its right within 12 months, that becomes American option contract. And black school is not developed for American option contracts. So that is the explanation to that requirement. All right. Any question, please? I think we have treated enough for option. Examiner is frequently, when it comes to option, application of option to investment, examiner always consider option to delay. All right. I've shared the material with the group. So the working tonight I've shared. I think we can introduce the last topic. Okay. Let's just 1 minute. All right. We shall be introducing or explaining the new topic, and that is the final topic, foreign currency risk management. How do we manage risk, particularly risk from foreign currency fluctuations? This material is available for us. Now, if a company is incorporated in Nigeria, if a company is incorporated in Nigeria and the company transacts business within Nigeria, that company has no business with foreign currency. I'll repeat that again. If a company is incorporated in Nigeria and the company transacts business within Nigeria, that means the company does not have any business with foreign currency. However, if a company incorporated in Nigeria decides to transact business outside Nigeria, then the issue of foreign currency becomes important. That means that company will need to convert its own currency to the currency of other country. In other words, exchange rates will apply. What is exchange rates? Exchange rates can be defined as the number of units of a given currency that can exchange, that can be purchased or exchanged with 1 unit of another country currency. We take that again. Exchange rates. Exchange rates can be defined as the quantity of one country currency that is required to buy 1 unit of another country currency. I'm trying to bring in a whiteboard. We said exchange rates. The quantity of one country currency that is required to buy 1 unit of another country currency is called the exchange rate. For example, if I say exchange rate between dollar and naira, what is the quantity of naira needed to buy $1. That is the exchange rate between dollar and naira. For example, if you say $800 to $1, the quantity of naira required to buy 1 unit of dollar. This is the exchange rate between naira and dollar. That means I require 800 naira, quantity of naira, for me to get $1. So exchange rate is the quantity of one country currency that is required to buy 1 unit of another country currency. This exchange rate can be quoted in 2 ways. This exchange rate can be quoted in 2 ways. Direct quotation or indirect quotation. Exchange rates can be expressed or can be stated in 2 ways. You can state the exchange rate in direct quotation, or you can have it stated in indirect quotation. What is direct quote? What is direct quote? This is where, or this is the number of domestic currency, or the quantity of domestic currency that is required to buy 1 unit of foreign currency. That becomes direct quote. Direct quote. The quantity of domestic currency required to buy a unit of foreign currency. Direct quote is expressed in terms of number of units of domestic currency that can be exchanged for 1 unit of foreign currency. Like the example we gave here, this is a direct quote. Naira is domestic. Dollar is foreign currency. So the quantity of domestic currency, the number of units of domestic currency that is needed to buy 1 unit of foreign currency is referred to as direct quote. This is a direct quote. Direct quote. If I do like this, 800 naira per dollar, $1. This is a direct quotation. Naira is the domestic currency. Dollar is the foreign currency. You can also state like this. $800 equals to $1. This is also direct quote. You can also do like this. $1 equals 800 naira. This is a direct quote. the number of units of domestic currency needed to buy 1 unit of foreign currency. That's direct quote. Next, indirect quote. Indirect quote. This is the number of units of foreign currency requires to buy 1 unit of domestic currency. Indirect quote. This is the number of units of foreign currency that is required to purchase 1 unit of domestic currency. Indirect quote is stated in terms of number of units of foreign currency that can buy 1 domestic currency. If I do like this now, for example, if you say 20 cedis to 1 naira, cedis, Ghanaian currency, to naira. Or we can say 0.025 dollar to 1 naira. Number of units of foreign currency required to buy 1 unit of domestic currency. This is indirect quote. So please note, exchange rates can be quoted directly or indirectly. Exchange rates can be expressed in direct form or indirect form. Relationship between direct and indirect quotes is reciprocal in nature. Relationship between direct and indirect quotes can be expressed as a reciprocal. Look at it, please. Look at it, please. Indirect quotes is equal to 1 over direct quotes. It's a reciprocal relationship. The rules for buying and selling of foreign currencies. Please, these rules, we might need to memorize this rule. Rule number 1. Exchange rates are quoted from the bank's point of view. Meaning that exchange rates are quoted to favor the bank. Number 2, when the customer buys, then the bank will sell. And when the customer sells, the bank will buy. Let us explain that. When the customer is willing to buy foreign currency, that means bank will sell. And when the customer is willing to sell, then the bank will buy. What that means is that there must be a buyer, there must be a seller. If the customer is willing to buy foreign currency, then the bank will sell foreign currency. And if the customer is willing to sell foreign currency, then the bank will buy foreign currency. Rule number 3. In an indirect quote, in a direct quote, bank buys at lower rates and sell at higher rates. Please note these points. Once we establish the principle, then we can solve hedging. In a direct quote, the bank buys at the lower rate and sell at the higher rates. So please remember, if you are dealing with direct quote, bank will buy at the lower rate and sell at the higher rate. In an indirect quote, the bank buys at higher rates and sell at lower rates. In an indirect quote, the bank buys at higher rates and sell at lower rates. So please memorize the 4 rules. Terms and terminology with foreign currency. One is the spot rate, the spot exchange rate. This is the rate or the price of foreign currency for immediate transaction. The spot rate is the exchange rate now. Assuming you are buying dollar now, the amount that applies now is called the spot rate. That is the spot rate. Number next, forward exchange rate. This is the exchange rate of 2 currencies. Set on one day for delivery at future specified dates. Forward exchange rates is the exchange rate of 2 currencies. Exchange rate between 2 currencies set on one day. The forward exchange rate is the exchange rate agrees now for transaction that will happen at future specified period. The forward exchange rates are often quoted at a discount or at a premium to the spot rate. When the forward rate is higher than the forward rate is higher than the spot rate, this implies that the spot rate is quoted at a premium forward. Where the forward exchange rate is greater than the previous exchange rate. That means that the spot rate is quoted at a premium forward. Why, if the forward rate is lesser than the spot rate, it means that the spot rate is quoted at a discount forward. We have cross rates. What is the cross rate? This is the implied exchange rate between two currencies. This is the implied spot rate. Between two currencies based upon the explicit relationship with the third currency. When we say cross rates, it is the exchange rate between two currencies based on the explicit relationship with the third party. So please note that the cross exchange rates let us illustrate this briefly. The cross exchange rates cross rates implied exchange rates between two currencies based on the explicit relationship with the third currency. Look at it, please. We have dollar to naira. Then Japanese yen. To naira. This thing is not right. So it should be dollar should be here, naira here, Japanese yen here. naira to dollar. Let's assume ₦800 to $1. And we have 200 yen. As me have 200 yen. Look at this, please. Dollar, naira to dollar, 800. Yen to dollar, 200. What is naira to yen? This is cross rate now. This is cross rate. There's relationship between naira and dollar. There's relationship between Japanese yen and dollar. But there's no relationship between naira and Japanese yen. So we now look for the cross rates. We say cross rates is the implied exchange rate. Based on the explicit relationship, the implied exchange rate between two currencies. Based on the explicit relationship with the third currency. I can use relationship between naira to dollar and Japanese yen to dollar to determine exchange rates naira to Japanese yen. That is cross rates. If I want to calculate naira to Japanese yen is equal to 800 divided by 200. This is equal to 4 naira to 1 Japanese yen. One yen. We have derived naira to yen based on the relationship with dollar. That is the cross rate. Next. Theories of exchange rate determination. How do we determine exchange rates between two currencies? There are two major theories that explain how exchange rates can be determined. We have the interest rate parity theory, and we have the purchasing power parity theory. Two theories of exchange rate determination. Theories of exchange rates. One, we have interest rates parity. The interest rate parity theory states that the differences between two country exchange rates, the differences between two countries' currency exchange rates was because of differences in inflation rates, in interest rates. What the theory is trying to say is that while we have fluctuation in interest rates, while we have fluctuation in exchange rates, is because there is fluctuation in interest rate between the country. If the interest rate is known between two country currencies, and the spot rate is given, then we can predict future exchange rate between the currency. I'll take that again. The theory says that the differences in exchange rates between two country currency is as a result of differences in interest rates. A country with higher interest rates, we have its currency value depreciating faster. A country with higher interest rates, we have its currency value depreciating faster compared to a company with lower interest rates. So if interest rates are given for two currencies and the spot rate is available, then we can calculate forward rates. We can calculate forward rate with the equation. Look at it, please. Look at this, please. Interest rate parity theory. In a direct quote, comma, the interest rate parity theory is equal to 1 plus FIR over 1 plus DIR is equal to X over F. But if you are dealing with indirect quote, it becomes interest rate parity theory is equal to, for indirect quotes, 1 plus FIR over 1 plus DIR is equal to F over X. The first one is used for direct quotes. While the second one is used for indirect quotes. Then number 2. We have purchasing power, parity theory. The purchasing power parity theory states that, before I move out, before I go to that, what is FIR? They even asked me, where FIR is equal to foreign interest rate. DIR is equal to domestic interest rates. Your X is the spot rate. Your F is the forward rate. We can now explain the purchasing power parity. The purchasing power parity theory states that the differences between two country currency value, the differences between two country exchange rates, is as a result of differences in inflation rates. A company with higher inflation will have its currency depreciating faster compared to a company with lower inflation rates. A company with higher inflation rates will have its currency depreciating faster compared to a company with low inflation rates. So if you know inflation rates in the two countries, if we know the inflation between two countries, and we know the spot exchange rates, then we can determine forward exchange rates. If you are to use parity purchasing power parity theory, The formula becomes in a direct code. In a direct code. The formula is 1 plus Fi Ai 1 plus Di is equal to X over F, where your Fi is foreign inflation. Fi is equal to foreign inflation our Di is equal to domestic inflation. Domestic inflation. Your X is the spot rate. Your X is the spot there is spot rate. There is forward rate. Forward rate. Only this. So you can use inflation to predict the likely exchange rate between two currencies. You can also use interest rates to predict the likely inflation between two country currencies. Let us leave it here, please. Let us stop at we can stop at the purchasing power parity, the theories of exchange rate determination. In most cases, these two theories can be tested to predict likely exchange rate between two currencies. All right, we stop here. We shall continue the class from foreign currency risk. All right. Any question, please? If there is no question, may God give us a better understanding. We shall be closing the class tonight to continue next week with foreign currency risk management. Let's have a blessed evening. Good night.
Good night.